Round 3 of the NHL Playoffs is underway, and we're starting to see everything unfold. The defending Cup champs look so good that it's leaving their opponents and fan bases searching desperately for answers. Meanwhile, the West rematch from last season is already living up to the hype, with unexpected heroes stepping up to the plate. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. It's the all-in-one platform that makes launching your website a breeze. So let's break down the tactics behind how these teams are exposing each other and dive into what's really happened in round 3 of the NHL playoffs so far. So let's start with the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Florida Panthers. Remember when Rod Brind'Amour said that they didn't get swept by the Panthers when they very clearly got swept by the Panthers a few years ago? Yeah, so does everyone else, and the Canes are out for redemption. They've been swept in 3 straight conference finals appearances, but this year feels a little bit different. The Hurricanes look like a well-oiled machine coming into round 3, and in game 1, they're going up against a Panther team that just came off a game 7 win that dismantled pretty much an entire franchise. So theoretically, it should be all Canes with the rest. No, the Panthers come into game 1 and negate the Canes' biggest strength, which is their forecheck. According to Mike Kelly on Twitter, the Panthers got it out with possession on 89% of their exit attempts at 5-on-5. No team has had that much success exiting their zone clean against Carolina in these playoffs. One subtle detail that was very noticeable in game 1 was the Panthers running these little interference or pick plays on the breakout to buy them just an extra second to make a play. This will drive certain fans nuts seeing this, saying, where the hell is the interference penalty? But this is exactly why the Panthers are so damn good. They know exactly what they can get away with and how to ride that line. It's usually not enough body contact to warrant calling a penalty, but by simply standing in the route, the Panthers D have a tiny hair of extra space to make a play on the breakout. The risk versus reward is a no-brainer, as here, Jones takes a look, runs a tiny bit of interference for his partner Mikkola. That forces the F2 to pressure, and now 2 guys are caught below the goal line for Carolina. Clean breakout, and look at Mikkola. The big lad gets the Pistons pumping through the middle, even a little beater tap like give me the fucking puck. He gets it back, and holy, Wayne Gretzky or Nico Mikkola. What a play, and a perfect example of how Florida creates space for themselves against a team that forechecks almost as well as they do. Now, the other area where Florida was cooking was in the power play. 2 for 3 against the best penalty kill in the league. The Canes play an ultra-aggressive box, but like we've seen in the past, if you beat the pressure and leverage the bumper in the middle, there are plays to be made there. Verhaeghe gets the puck in that spot, and he goes backhand Billy on Freddie. Now, one thing was evident in game 1, and it's that the Canes wanted to take a piece of Bobrovsky. Officer Bob was getting bumped and run all night long. Biggest one was Svechnikov, knee to the temple, looking like Randy Orton in 2009. Bob wasn't happy about that, so he has a little chit-chat with the ref, but overall, he didn't let it faze him. He still stopped 31 of 33 shots, and the Cats get in the head of Carolina, especially Brad Marchand. He takes a run at Gostisbehere. He doesn't like it, so he gets the puck and just shoots it right at Marchand. You do that, it's on site. You gotta drop the gloves, but Gostisbehere doesn't, and the Panthers take game 1 5-2, while the Hurricanes' winless streak in the conference final lives on after game 1. Now, before we hop into game 2, let's thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is the all-in-one website builder designed to help you stand out online and grow your business. Whether you're launching something new or expanding your presence, it provides everything you need, from claiming your domain to creating a sleek, professional site and managing it all from one platform. You watch the channel, you know how many breakdowns we do within a week, especially now during playoff time, but there's so much more behind the scenes that doesn't make it into the videos. So I'm using Squarespace to build something more tangible for coaches, players, and fans to really dive into for the offseason. The setup has been super clean and intuitive when it comes to setting up potential payments, possible shipping options, and inventory. The AI builder gave me a beautiful template to kick things off, and if you're a coach or creator trying to hit the ground running, Squarespace is your best option. So head over to squarespace.com/hockeypsychology to get 10% off your first purchase of your website or domain, and use that code hockeypsychology at checkout to make sure you get that 10% off. Now on to game 2, and hopefully it's a fresh slate for Carolina, right? No. Less than 2 minutes in, Game 2, the Cats are just dialed into their system. Forecheck again, it's like a perfectly executed orchestra. You got Verhaeghe as the high F3 in the perfect spot near the blue line. That allows Forsling to step up and pinch. Carolina opts to play it back, but there's no shake in that pressure. They go up the boards right to Tkachuk. He bumps it back up to Forsling, and that's the 13th goal from a D-man for Florida. They lead the playoffs in that area. And really, tactically, this is what this series has come down to so far. These teams both thrive on that forecheck and suffocating the opponent with pressure. But the Panthers are just executing at a whole other level right now. On top of that, like I said in Game 1, Florida's just breaking it out no problem. On a controlled exit, the Panthers got all 5 players within close proximity and support to make sure they got options moving out of their zone as a 5-man unit. In Florida's game, there's not a lot of stretch plays or anything like that. Now, if there isn't a clean option on the breakout, they aren't afraid to just punt it and go for the high flip to make it a 50-50 puck down ice. That way, they avoid the danger entirely if all the options are cut off. They actually almost scored off of this exact play too, but Brent Burns gave Marchand a tomahawk chop to break his own stick and the play. And so when things aren't clicking, it starts to get greasy. So Sebastian Aho goes after Sam Reinhart, sticks out the ass, and catches his leg. Does not look good. Dirty hit, no bueno, as Sam Reinhart didn't return. Now, when you play like that, you're basically getting into a pissing match with the Panthers, and they're going to get you back all day long. Seth Jarvis admires his pass for a second, and ba-boom. Mikkola catches him a tad late, but Florida, they're always coming back for blood. You gotta know that's coming. Nice to know also that Marchand hasn't forgot about Game 1, gives a nice little cross-check to the spine of Gostisbehere, and gives the Canes chiropractor some extra work before Game 3. At one point, the Hurricanes did finally break through on an Aho goal, but turns out it was offside. Any bit of momentum just instantly gone, poof, not even there. The Canes had 7 shots through 2 periods, and the fans were chanting to shoot the puck. Sergei Bobrovsky, 5-0 shutout. The Hurricanes lose their 14th straight game in the conference finals, and the Panthers just look unbeatable right now. Now, the team that did give Florida the most fits was, funny enough, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Florida's aggression looked most vulnerable when they used quick chips, pass pressure to support options while having their D activate on the rush to give them a numbers advantage. It almost worked until Florida adjusted, but even early in this series, there are instances where Carolina has used this formula to bypass the pressure and get a quick chance on the counter. Of course, it all starts with beating that Panther forecheck. The odd time their D can beat them with their legs and get numbers up ice, but usually Carolina is either losing that battle on the wall or just a step behind when trying to get up ice. The result has them down 0-2 in the series, searching the depths of their souls for answers. It's looking bleak, but hey, maybe Rod Brind'Amour goes full on Herb Brooks, flips a table, and the boys come out buzzing for Game 3, but for now, the Cup champs just look like dogs. Now let's move on to the Oilers versus the Stars in Game 1. This is a rematch of last year's conference finals where Edmonton came out on top. So, who the hell knows what's going to happen, considering anytime the Oilers specifically are in a matchup, we should expect an absolute roller coaster. In Game 1, we see the Oilers get back to their offensive identity with these scissor routes in the O-zone. Why? Well, Dallas in their own end, when the puck is up high, play a man-on-man coverage, so this is where Edmonton can exploit them by using these scissor routes along the perimeter to force switches and create space. Yes, we saw it a ton last year on Edmonton's run, and we see it firsthand here with Draisaitl's goal. It starts off with Leon and Connor using a scissor route, and Draisaitl's going to drop for McDavid while he threatens to attack the middle. He goes for a little spinorama, twinkle toes, the attempt fails, but then Nurse picks up the puck while Draisaitl begins to swing in behind him for the scissor route. But peak Wyatt Johnson here. Draisaitl is his man. He sticks with him. However, there's another pick on the scissor route by McDavid. That creates just a moment of space. Draisaitl says backhand, forehand, check your angles, pal, and beats Ottinger clean. The big boys are buzzing. Yet the fellas in the Dallas locker room have been watching the tape on this Oilers offense. Edmonton, on an offensive face-off win on the left circle, like to run this wheel route where the center or winger dart behind the net as the defensemen go D to D and then send it back down low to McDavid or Draisaitl, arriving in time on the goal line. They either drive the middle or spin off to attack the net. With 8 minutes left in the first, we see Edmonton try to execute this right away, and Dallas almost gives up a goal to this exact play as Hyman hits the post. The boys say, yeah, we've seen enough of that. We're not letting that one happen again, and they learn from their mistake. 4 minutes later, Edmonton wins the draw. They go D to D. They set up the play again, but instead of Draisaitl spinning back down low, he's going to carry it up high towards the blue line, and Marchment temporarily leaves man-on-man coverage to create a 2v1 and surprise Draisaitl. It's a turnover, second is a jump scare for Oilers fans, a breakaway, mono, and he beats him clean. At this point, it's 1-1, but the Oilers have a strong response. They get a goal on the power play, and then Evan Bouchard releases the Bouch bomb, and the Oilers got a 3-1 lead heading into the third. What can go wrong for the Oilers? Well, how about stapling your ass to the penalty box and letting the Stars power play cook? Dallas's bread and butter has been the down low and across 1T against diamond or box penalty kills like Colorado and Winnipeg. The Oilers, however, play a triangle +1 with the +1 trying to keep the power play to one side of the ice. With two defenders down low, it's usually more difficult to get that down low and across play to work, but if you can expose the top forward trying to split the ice in half, then you're in business. The first power play, Dallas is going to use puck movement to create space up high. The +1 is going to swing down low, and Brown comes up to fill the space, but the passing creates enough room for them to throw it into the mixer, and they get one. Second power play, we see it again, except this time, Dallas is going to use the bumper. Edmonton does a good job of pressuring from high to low, but that bumper player gives them the flexibility to zip it around. The Oilers triangle loses a bit of its structure, and Granlund has all day to step in. He goes Roof Daddy-O Jr. This game is tied. Power play goal number 3. They get Nugent Hopkins running around with puck movement again, a couple of bounces, and there you go. The Stars score 3 unanswered on the power play to take the lead. They add 2 more and just shock the Oilers in Game 1 to go up 1-0 in the series. Little message sending at the end as Corey Perry lets Bichsel know how great he is at turtling, and we move on to Game 2. Now, heading into this game, there is a silver lining for the Oilers despite shitting the bed in the third period of Game 1. They did do some good work 5-on-5, but in Game 2, it's special teams that gets them on the board. Bouch bomb is enough to break a stick on the way to the net. It lands right on the tape of Nugent Hopkins, and tonight he's Luck Boy Illinois. What a bounce, and the Oilers take a 1-0 lead. Now, before the series even started, McDavid was hilariously annoyed with reporters after answering several questions about whether or not this team can defend right after they got back-to-back shutouts to eliminate Vegas. Annoyed is probably the right emotion because the Oilers can defend really well when they want to. We saw it firsthand with Vegas, especially with Draisaitl's willingness to shut down Jack Eichel. The Oilers' philosophy in their own end is to play a zone coverage no matter where the puck is. And when you play this style, it is the most effective if you buy in and get in front of pucks. Whether the game was tied or the Oilers were playing with a lead, they were eating pucks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Game 2. Because they don't play a man-on-man at the point like Dallas does, it does open the door for the Stars players to step in and let one rip from the point. So that makes a commitment to structure and eating pucks a lot more important for Edmonton to succeed. The Oilers offense did its job. They scored twice in 1 minute and 13 seconds near the end of the second period to make it 3-0, but the biggest storyline was Stuart Skinner. Yeah, the fellas held him out a ton in front of him, but he was rock solid. He even made this ridiculous paddle save, just Gandalf with the stick, telling the puck you shall not pass. Buddy was dialed in tonight. Stuart Skinner is either prime Martin Brodeur or a glorified shooter-tooter in these playoffs. Just listen to this stat. In 4 losses, he's allowed 20 goals, but in the 3 wins that he has, 0 goals allowed. All shutouts, complete brick wall. It's either a shutout or a save percentage of .835 and under. This guy's all or nothing, and you gotta love it. This series is going back to Edmonton, all tied at 1, but not without a little controversy. In the third, Darnell Nurse just chops down Rope Hintz's foot like he's cutting down a tree. Hintz needed help off the ice. Nurse was only given a 2-minute minor, and after the game, Coach Pete DeBoer says if McDavid got carried off the ice like that, who here thinks it wouldn't be a 5-minute major? A little bit of mind games there. I don't think that was a 5-minute major penalty, but considering the Stars have manufactured next to nothing 5-on-5 in this series so far, I see the desire for a major. Regardless, the Dallas Stars need to get going at even strength, or else the Oilers may just completely take over this series. So, what did you think of both of these series so far? Who surprised you? Who pissed you off? Let us know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Check them out in the description down below. And if you want to see more breakdowns of these NHL playoffs, click the video on screen here, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a thing.